Well, isn't this a pleasant surprise, y'all? Yeah, I'm back with Echo. Remember last time when we did Carl's route? Like, I don't even know how long ago at this point? Yeah, I'm sorry, y'all, but I can't go back to my save file because I did like an almost 4 hour long recording. That would have been a kind of special to round out his route. But it turned out that it got no audio recorded, and plus it didn't even record all of the rounds. So, whoop-de-doo, now we're gonna have to go back and either redo his route, which I'm not going to do today, or we choose a different route, and that's what we're gonna do today. So, yeah. Let's load it up. So, as you can see, this isn't July 20th. Okay, it was July 20th, right? Alright, so we're going back to the fucking route choice, because yeah, I'm not doing that again right now. Sorry, y'all. But, like, okay, so basically, if you remember what happened, there was a big argument at the lake about Sydney and Flynn fucking ran away. So, basically, what we're gonna do, I know I said I would do them in order that I played them, as in Carl, TJ, Leo, Flynn, and Jenna. But we're gonna mix things up a bit because fuck it. Okay, so TJ's an interesting route, alright. Flynn, my favorite. Jenna's was the last one, and Leo. Leo. I hate Leo. Let's go after Flynn. Yeah. I look back at Flynn as he winds his way down the trail towards the road. I sigh angrily, starting towards him. Chase, I wouldn't. Someone's gotta talk sense, mad idiot. He thinks he can just get away with this shit. You know how he is. I keep walking. In fact, I got Carl's voice like immediately, even though it's like been weeks. He's moving pretty slow, so it's easy to catch up with him. He's got his hands jammed into his pockets as he walks along, his head down. Hey, Flynn! He jerks his head up, then looks back around at me. He's chewing a toothpick, which promptly pulls out of his muzzle. The hell? The fuck do you think you're doing, Chase? Go back. Yeah, right, you think you'll just walk away from me after saying shit like that? He stops walking and turns around fully to face me. I know he seems like a fucking dickwad, but I really like Flynn. Like, he is the... Yeah, I really like Flynn. I step up right in front of him, just a few feet away. He looks me over, and for some reason I can see a smile threatening to crack his face as he tries to keep it hidden. Yeah, and what are you gonna do about it? I shrug. Doc, we're on a good time. Why do you have to go and turn everything good? He suddenly steps up close, thrusting his chest out into me. He hits me around the neck, and I stumble back. Not in the mood. Yeah, seriously, Chase, he literally had terrible memories brought back up, so maybe don't antagonize him, you know? He sticks the toothpick back in his muzzle before he turns and starts walking away again. Go back to the river, see what I can talk about what an asshole I am. You're not an asshole, Flynn. What? I watch him go for a bit. I'm not too worried about Flynn actually beating me up. I'd annoyed him pretty bad before, but he hadn't even ever hurt me, at least not maliciously. On top of that, he'd have Leo to answer to if he ever did anything like that. And he knows how that would end up. Yeah, Leo's a bit fucking cuckoo crazy. Cuckoo for Chase, I guess. Whatever. Still, he did look pretty angry when he stepped toward TJ. More so than I'd ever seen him, probably. Now might not be the best time to do this. No, fuck, just keep going. Screw him. Once again, he thinks the act of an asshole can just brush off whoever he doesn't want to talk to. Well, I'm about to show him exactly why that doesn't work when he's a stubborn otter up against. I start following him again, doing a little jog to catch up. This time, Flynn hears me and whirls around, pulling the toothpick out of his mouth again. Your ears filled with water, I said fuck off! I flinched a little under his yelling, but I squared my shoulders and walked up to him, stand on my ground. Now I'm only 3 feet away. Or what, you gonna hit me? Really? Go on, try it. I look him in the eye and immediately I know I have nothing to worry about. This is Flynn, after all, one of my best friends. Whether or not he'd ever admit to it, our little group is family no matter how many stupid fights we get into. He's trying to scare me, though, with the way he's leaning over me, glaring. I smirk up at him, and pretty soon I see his facade crack. He slumps down, letting out one massive sigh, deflating like a life-size lizard balloon. Fucking otters. What do you want? I want you to stop being a dick. Flynn looks right back at me and glares, some of the posturing coming back. What? Oh Christ, you heard me. That is not a good thing to say to me right now. Flynn starts leaning over me again, and I lean right back, almost bumping muzzles. Yeah, well, everything you said back there was not a good thing to say. I see the corner of one of his eyes twitch. We're so close I can smell the beer in his breath. I see that smug tug at his muzzle again. Coming in for a kiss? He presses even closer to feel my muzzle flush, but I'm not backing down. I see how it is. You're bored with Leo and now you want some lizard action, eh? No, I just want an explanation. That's not how I spell that word, I don't think. He raises his brow and leans back a little. Of why you're being such a dick when we're all supposed to be having fun. Actually, I think I know exactly what this is. You're trying to prove me wrong. Well, being an obnoxious twit doesn't suddenly mean you got a personality. Anyway, they told me to speak my mind. I did. He turns away again and starts walking. Well, he's right. They did tell him to speak his mind, and he did speak his mind. So, it's not in the wrong in my book. I quickly catch up and start walking alongside him. That's not an answer. Besides, even if something's true, it doesn't mean you have to point it out in the middle of everyone's vacation. Flynn keeps walking, opting to glare at the dusty trail. Do you really think I'm just looking to bone all of you? I'm not. Flynn laughs, and for once it's not cynical, it's genuine. I think what you're doing right now is helping your case, Chase. What? I'm just trying to figure out what the hell is wrong with you, Flynn. My phone buzzes and I pull it out. Are you okay? It's a text from Leo. Everything is fine, I'm just trying to talk to Flynn. Flynn snorts right in my ear, making me jump. I jerk my phone away as I realize he's been reading over my shoulder. What, Wolfie boy thinks I'm gonna clock you for being annoying? You almost hit TJ. Almost. Yeah, you wouldn't hit TJ. Unless he asked you to. I'm sorry. TJ and Flynn is my favorite ship in this game, so sorry. At this point, we're walking along Lake Emma Road, the trail lying between it and the reservoir itself. There's a little guardrail on the lakeside, but it's rusty, and I seriously doubt that it would stop any car from going over into the lake. That sounds like foreshadowing. Though to be totally honest with you, recently, a map was made by a fan, commissioned by one of the creators of the game. So it's kind of interesting to have that map, that mental image in my head while playing this, because I now know where everything is. It's interesting, but at the same time, it kind of completely destroys my headcanon of what the place looked like, which, ew, I hate that word so much. I hate that concept so much. Another 10 minutes will reach the motel. The phone buzzes again as I get a response from Leo. If he does anything, call me. Flynn sighs again. He stops and I turn to face him. He looks sad for once, staring hard at the ground. I just sort of blacked out for a second. I was angry. That's what murderers say after they kill their exes. Jesus, Chase. Well, okay, I fucked up. Yeah, no shit. It's just something that's been fucking with me ever since it happened. That he's not telling the truth. Flynn looks up at me sharply. You know he isn't. Flynn's staring at me hard as if looking for something, and this time I do look away. Well, what if he is? No, you saw him right after it happened. How scared he was, how he couldn't look at any of us. I have no idea what to say. Flynn never talks about this. Before today, the last time I'd heard him mention Sydney was 6 years ago. It really fucked me up. And now we thought we could just come back to this stupid fucking lake. He kicks his foot across the ground toward the reservoir, some pebbles falling over the steep drop and plopping into the water. fucked us all up, but Flynn most of all. Look, Flynn, maybe something did happen, something he doesn't want to tell us. But it's TJ, you know what kind of person he is. And that's what makes this so fucking shitty. But we were kids, he was like 10 years old, we're different people now. Looking behind Flynn, I see Leo's van coming up the road. Flynn waits for me to go on, but sees me looking back, and does so himself. As soon as he sees the van, he folds his arms and turns his head to look out across the lake. As it pulls up alongside, the window rolls down, and I see Jenna in the passenger seat, Leo next to her. Hey, we're heading back. Wanna get in? Flynn doesn't say anything, instead choosing to continue staring at the lake. I decided it's probably a good idea for me to walk with him instead of making him do it alone. Nah, it's alright. We're just talking. Leo shifts his gaze to Flynn, studying him before turning back to me. Alright, text me later, okay? Okay. The window rolls back up as the van pulls away, kicking up some dust from the roadside as it does. I turn back to Flynn, who's still looking at the lake, slowly chewing on his toothpick. That's when his stomach growls so loudly it almost makes me jump. I snort and Flynn fixes me with a glare. What? I didn't get to eat. Neither did I, which is your fault. Flynn grunts and keeps walking up the trail toward Echo, town's windows and rusted signs glinting in their desert haze. I skip up alongside him. Hey, why don't we go to the diner? It's just a few minutes away. Flynn grimaces. I can't eat that shit anymore. What? When's the last time you ate there? A few years ago. Wow, what do you eat then? Flynn laughs. I go to Peyton where they actually have grocery stores. Oh, okay. A few moments of silence pass before Flynn speaks up again. I guess it wouldn't hurt to eat there again for old time's sake. Yeah, Flynn is very much not a bad dude. As we walk into the diner, my senses are assaulted by nostalgia. Everything looks and smells the same, from the faded patched stools to the smell of burgers and fries. Out of habit, I start walking toward the corner booth that we always used to sit at. Where are you going? Huh? I look back at Flynn, who was standing near the counter, looking ready to sit in one of the stools. Oh, come on, Flynn, those are uncomfortable. Besides, it'll be easier to talk. Some of the patrons are trying to look up from their meals. Flynn looks around, clearly embarrassed, and shoves his hand into his pockets, making his way over to me. Fine. I slide into the booth in my usual spot on the right-hand side. Usually Leo would sit next to me. Flynn sits opposite me, leaning back, eyes half open. Tired? Yup. I wait for him to elaborate, but he doesn't go on. Up late? Flynn reaches up and rubs his eyes. Yeah. The long breath he takes before he says that tells me he's starting to get annoyed, so I drop it. Luckily, that's when Janice, the little diner waitress, comes over to our table. Oh yeah, this bitch. Jeez, my goodness. That's not fucking Janice. Oh my god. Jeez, I don't know what to fucking do for this bitch. Jeez, my goodness, what are you doing here? I don't fucking know. I'm just not sure for her. Hi, Janice, just doing a school project. Oh, really? I wonder what sort of school might be here for you. I'm actually just getting some film at the town. Flynn's covering both of his eyes with his hands now, as if that's going to make him invisible. And you, Flynn, can't seem to have seen you at all recently. Flynn makes a low grunting sound, not taking his hands away. Janice keeps talking, though, unfazed. Well, anything you'd like to drink while you're here deciding your meal? Water. Chase. I'm going myself. Have a Coke. Shang. I don't fucking know. I'm good at country voices sometimes not. Flynn does move his hands at this point and looks at me. His expression is odd, like he wants to say something. I look back and raises my brows when he just shuts his muzzle and looks out the window. Alright, I'll be back with you. I don't know what to give her as a voice. As Janice moves on to some other patrons, I look back at Flynn. Were you gonna say something? Flynn shakes his head, folding his arms on the table and hunching forward. No. Somehow his mood is even darker than it was earlier. I sigh, frustrated. It's so damn hard to understand Flynn. His mood swings are absolutely ridiculous. I lean back and fold my arms, scowling. What? You know exactly what. I'm trying to be friendly here. Flynn shrugged, a bewildered expression on his face. I don't know what to say, Chase. It's been a shitty day. I don't say anything, I just look out the window like Flynn. Again, there's a tense silence between us. I just listen to the clatter of silverware from the two other people in the diner, along with the old rockabilly music playing over the crackly speakers. Finally, Flynn sighs. I decide that's his signature expression, like Carl's shrug. Sorry, I'm just... Like I said, it's been a shitty day. It's fine. That's when Janice brings over our drink before taking a notepad out to take our orders. Alright, what do you have? Tune them out, onion rings. And you, Chase? What's that? Bacon cheeseburger sounds good. Alrighty, what do you have on the side? Fries, please. Flynn is staring at me in a weird, squinting sort of way, as if he's trying to see something. Great, I'll have that right over. Sit tight. As Janice bustles away, I look to the side, then back at Flynn. What? Flynn keeps squinting his face, incredulous now. Do you really not? He doesn't finish and instead shakes his head. Never mind. Seriously, you're kind of freaking me out. Flynn chuckles and covers his eyes again, rubbing. Same. The hell is he talking about? I'm opening my mouth to ask him, but he cuts me off. Listen, I've got the day off tomorrow. Do you wanna do something? I stare at him at a loss for words. First he's acting like a complete douche, then he tells me I'm scaring him, and now he's inviting me to hang out with him? Is he, what do you call it, bipolar? I guess? Alright, I'll come by sometime afternoon. Maybe with Carl. He doesn't do shit, so he should be free. Okay, I guess I could use a break from working on my product for a bit. Flynn goes on to tell me that he and Leo often go out to fish on their days off. That it's actually a lot of fun. I'm still trying to get used to the shift in conversation when Janice shows up with our food. Flynn stares down at his giant greasy sandwich while I take a giant bite of mine. Fuck, I'm gonna regret this. Why? It tastes great. Well, you're lucky. This kind of food fucks up my stomach. You make your own food? Yep. I snort and Flynn looks up sharply. Sorry, it's just hard to imagine. Hey, I'm a real good cook. I guess the expression on my face is showing. I don't buy it because he smirks back at me. Fine, sometime this week you're coming over, and I'll show you then. I shrug, even though I feel like I've won some kind of secret battle we were having. Deal. Oh boy, nightmare sequence, here we fucking go. Flynn pulls me over rocks and boulders. I stumble along, trying to keep my balance. Flynn's insistent, though, almost angry. We reach the edge of the lake and he throws me down. I stare at the wet sand and back up at Flynn. He points and tells me to dig. I start digging. I don't know what I'm looking for, and I ask, but Flynn doesn't say anything. Water keeps filling the hole. It's hard to keep sand from sliding back in. Finally, I reach in deep and someone grabs my paw. I stay like that for a long time. Tuesday already. We're only 18 minutes into the video. That's not good enough. How's this look? Carl dangles the lure in front of himself, bouncing it around. Flynn squints at it incredulously. I'm pretty sure his muzzle would be hanging open if he didn't have a toothpick in his mouth. Jesus fucking Christ, Carl, what is that? What the hell? Carl's tied the spinner in a giant ugly knot, the string sticking out in every which way. This is why I told you to fucking wait. I guess Carl's gotten impatient, decided to try his own lure, while Flynn held it with mine. Flynn takes out a knife from his pocket and takes the spinner from Carl, scowling. I'd throw this away if I didn't have so fucking few of them. What's wrong with you, Carl? Carl shoves his paw into his pockets as he watches Flynn struggle with getting the knot fixed. I don't see the big deal. It's attached, isn't it? and looks at me and grins, shrugging his shoulders. I shrug back. You made it so fucking big, it's not gonna spin right. Flynn's muttering anger under his breath, squeezing his forearms to his chest as he tries to keep his fingers steady. Carl rolls his eyes and looks over at me and grins. Why we gotta fish with these when we got an otter with us? I'm willing. That's not the point. Flynn almost growls, prodding and poking at the messy knot. It's about relaxing. How's Chase gonna relax throwing around the whole time? Finally seems to get a handle on the mess and starts tugging out line. And how am I gonna relax with you fucking everything up? The line finally drops away from the spinner. That's what I get for bringing a pothead along. Hey, I'm straight right now. Flynn snickers. You sure about that? Carl rolls his eyes again. Ask Chase. I sit innocuously reeling my line, watching my spinner glisten under the water. Why are you asking me? You have, what's it called, gaydar? Isn't the idea that everyone has it? He doesn't respond as Flynn starts showing him how to actually tie the line. I come up empty and cast the line out again, listening to the clicking whir of the reel before the spinner lands at the flop in the middle of the pond. I was wondering where Flynn would go to fish, since we wouldn't go to Emma, obviously. Turns out he and Leo found this pond 20 minutes outside of town, deep in the wilderness. Unsurprisingly, no one comes here, which is why Flynn says the fishing is good. There definitely is something calming about being out in the middle of nowhere, especially with the repetitive motions of fishing to keep you occupied. Finally, Flynn finishes showing Carl how to cast, and the ram launches his spinner out, almost all the way to the other side of the pond. Careful, idiot! If you get snagged on the other end, you'll whoop your ass. Oh, lay off, Flynn. Carl reels in fast, then casts out again, making a puny sound as he does. Flynn sighed before walking up next to me, watching him reel in much slower. I feel a little self-conscious with the way he stands over me, worried I'm doing something wrong. Sure enough, he steps forward, his chest up against my back as he grips the pole. Grab it above the reel post here. He holds the rod and grabs my paw and slides it up the pole. That way you can really grip it when you catch something. He's right up against my back, arms wrapped around me. I swallow and try to focus on the pole. Alright. I hear him give a low chuckle in his throat and I glare. Of course he knows what he's doing right now with my paws in the pole. He's probably rubbing it in with what he said yesterday. I decide to respond by sliding my tail off the inside of his leg and I feel him shift against me. His surprise, his chuckle, turn into a grunt of surprise. What the hell are you guys doing? Flynn lets go of the pole and steps back as Carl watches us, his face screwed up in exaggerated disgust. Showing him how to fish, now it's your turn, fatty. Carl pauses and is reeling. Not like we haven't done this before. Plus, I don't know if I want to feel your... The fuck? What the hell? Too bad. I focus back on fishing, still feeling a little warm from the close encounter I just had with Flynn. I'm a little angry that he tried that, especially so soon after what had happened. I try to focus back on how relaxing the motions are, sweeping the lake clockwise like cast out again and again. If I really did want to catch a fish, though, I would be swimming in the water right now. It isn't hard to do. I've done it several times when I was younger in the reservoir. Of course, that's less relaxing since you have to actively search for the fish rather than just sit placid until one bites your lure. I've never killed one before, though. Careful, Carl! I wince and look to the side, seeing Flynn covering his head and ducking as Carl's lure bounces and swings around above him. You didn't let go of the fucking button! Carl shrugs and starts to swing his pole around, trying to wrap the line from his pole. Well, if you weren't right up against my tail, you wouldn't have to worry about that. I'm trying to show ya! Kapew! Carl launches his lure over the pond so far that it almost lands on the opposite bank. It does, however, wrapped tightly around a branch sticking up from a fallen log in the shallows. Fucking believable. Shit, He starts tugging and pulling, trying to get it untangled from the log. No, stop, you have to walk around the edge and get it. What? There's fucking cacti on the edges, no way in hell. Too bad, they're my last fucking lures. What? Come on. Carl's shoulders slump as he looks out across the pond. I sigh and sit to my pole and start stripping my shirt off from my pants. After a pause, I say take off my boxers too. It's not like Jenna's here. Takes them a while to stop arguing. Now about the plural form of cactus, I realize that I'm now nude. Chase? I'll get the damn lure, just stop arguing.
Just want an excuse little striptease, huh?
Shut up, we've all seen each other naked. I do try to angle my hips away so they can't see my balls and cock. Jesus Christ, dude. Which is hard to do considering I've got a pretty steep bank to wobble over. I manage it though, and soon I'm sludging through thick mud.
Careful, I don't know what the fuck's in there.
Didn't you say no one comes here? I don't get his response because I dive in right after that, the feeling of water closing up around me, cutting off air and sound. Again, it's a huge relief to be back in the water, and I drift toward the bottom. It's not deep at all, and the water here has a slimy feeling that I don't like. Still, it's better than nothing and undulates slowly across the pond. It doesn't take long to reach the log because it's only about 30 feet away. I have to bob a few times at the surface to look around though, since the water is too murky to see through. I'm actually kind of starting to regret doing this. I try to remember if anyone cuts their sword, I'm going to have to douse some peroxide later. That's when my paws bumps the log and I bob back up to the surface, wiping a paw across my eyes. I see the line glinting above me, some drops of pond water clinging to it. I reach up and grasp it between my index and thumb and follow it to the branch. I feel Carl give a few tugs.
Hey, Chase. Carl says there's leeches in the pond.
I hear a loud smack followed by a yelp.
Don't fucking yank it around, you want to snag his eyeball?
I ignore them as I search for the lure. I continue to follow the line until I lean over the log and spot the spinner, shimmering in the sunlight, the hook wedged into the soft, wet wood. It comes out easily and I lift it, making sure I'm out of the way of the hook in case Carl decides to yank the line again. When I turn around, I'm glad to see that Flynn's got the pull now. I hold up the lure to show him and let it drop back into the water. Flynn's slowly starting to reel it back in. I go back in, slowly swimming back to the opposite bank. It's at that point that I see a silver flash to the right of my field of vision. I look over and see a fish swimming lazily over some plant life on the bottom of the pond. I pause and would have smiled if my mouth wasn't going to fill with pond water. It would be funny after all this time with their lures and their poles for me to just pop out of the water fishing paw. I smell it slowly, lingering to the side so I don't block the sunlight before diving down and snatching it up. I latch it in my claws and to keep it from escaping, I give a little wiggle of delight. It's been a long time since I've done this, but it looks like I've still got it. I turn around and start swimming back to Flynn and Carl, and that's when I suddenly feel like I'm being watched. It's not the typical feeling, though. This is much, much more intense. Oh shit, it's that fucking noise. I'm sorry, guys, I just got fucking chills up my spine because this fucking noise, the sound effect, is synonymous with fear for me now because of this game. I pause and look back over my shoulder, then forward again. It's pointless because everything's cloudy. I can't see more than 10 feet. I've sunk down to the bottom of the pond, both of my feet resting in the deep muck as I crouch, trying to figure out where the feeling is coming from. It doesn't help that my head is starting to buzz, a tone building in my head that sounds like an orchestra tuning. I haven't been down that long. I shouldn't be running out of air. Of course, I should just swim out to the surface where it's bright and safe, but I don't because this feels too familiar. I think back to when I was 12, playing the abandoned school with Carl. I was hiding from him in a second-floor classroom and I felt this exact feeling. Intense, almost physical, like a hand was grabbing at the back of my neck. I look around again, then finally look up at the fish in my paws. Now I know where it's coming from. Before I know it, I'm whipping upwards, breaking through the surface in less than a second, swimming towards my friends. I stumble up onto the bank, splashing water everywhere as I do. I'm not holding the fish anymore.
What the fuck were you doing?
I try to steady my breathing, hoping they'll just think it's because I was down so long, rather than me being freaked the fuck out. Carl's laughing next to Flynn as I start pressing my paws down my body, trying to speed up the drying process. What? Carl shrugged, but Flynn smacks him upside the head again.
He pissed in the water while you were under.
Great. Honestly, I don't really care right now.
I wouldn't worry about it. He didn't come up near it, and there's probably worse in there anyway. Speaking of which, why don't you go further up the street and wash up? I don't want you bringing pond shit into my truck.
Okay. I sigh and pick up my clothes, just glad they seemingly haven't noticed anything's off. Luckily for me, Flynn parked right next to the stream, so it's easy to find. It's freezing cold, though, compared to the pond, so I get washed up quickly. I gasp loudly as I splash the water over my body, shivering before I stand back up and start squeezing the water out of my fur again.
Everything okay?
I jump and look back. Flynn's leaning against his truck, arms folded, watching me. I blush. It was easier to be naked in front of the two of them, but for some reason it just being Flynn makes it way more embarrassing. I turn back around, pressing my tail harder against my ass, and I wave my arms up and down, trying to draw it off. Yeah, come for a show?
Yeah, I always wanted to see that naked otter mimicking a bird.
Shut up, I'm trying to dry off. Flynn doesn't say anything, so I just turn around, not even bothering to cover up, pause on my hips. Okay, seriously, just come to see me naked. He hasn't moved at all, but he cracks a smile.
Maybe.
I don't let that trip me up and instead thrust my hips out, legs spread. Well, there you go.
I got a towel in my truck.
He's still smiling, and his eyes definitely aren't on mine. Flynn has flirted with me before, even while I was dating Leo. I vaguely remember there being some altercations between the two. I make my way toward the truck, again trying to angle my hips away from him. You really know how to creep a guy out. I lift up on the handle, but the door doesn't open. Hey, unlike the... Something shoves hard in the small of my back, and I'm thrown forward to land with a wet splat against the hot metal of Flynn's truck. Oh no, is there gonna be fucking explicit imagery here? The hell? Something tall, skinny, and muscular presses up against my back. Chills run down my spine as Flynn's muzzle snuffles into my ear, a low growling in his voice.
You really think you can just tease me like that and get away with it?
His paws slide around my body, between the car and my chest, but my stomach before moving up on my chest. Jesus fucking Christ. I'm frozen that way, pausing against the passenger window as I stare in shock through it at the truck's steering wheel. Though I'm not really seeing it. There's a pause, and I think it's because he's waiting for my response to see if I tell him to stop or not. I don't, though, and I lean my head back into his neck, feeling my entire body break out into goosebumps as he rubs at my chest.
You like that, don't you?
I respond with a gasp as his sharp teeth graze across one of my stubby ears, his hot breath sending another wave of chills over my skin. Good God, no, 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 go away, no, no, not now. Oh, no. I don't need a heart on right. His hands slide back down, slowly filling out my body.
Acting like a little slut. You didn't think this was gonna happen?
I stiffen a little under the remark and lift my tail. Oh, no. I don't know if I should pause or not, because I know nothing really explicit happens, but, like, I don't know if the description alone is enough to get it flagged or so. I don't know. Lift my tail up again between his legs. You're one to fucking talk. I'm not completely sure. Fuck. Oh, boy. Not completely sure about what's going on, if it's just a spur of the moment thing or if he's just trying to prove a point. But I do know that we both want it. Oh, boy. Well, guys, I'm gonna pause it here because, yeah, okay, guys, it's over. All I have to say is, holy fuck, that was hot. Wow. Wow, 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 Flynn. I love him so much. That was so hot, man. Holy shit.
Nothing, just realized that Carl could see us. We should have done this here.
Huh? He's acting like I started this. I'm feeling self-conscious now that he's clearly not interested in continuing. I turn away slightly, one paw against the car, as I angle my body so he can't see my dick anymore. He's already seen it plenty, dude. Sorry to break your bubble, but he's already seen it plenty, and yeah, you touched his, so whatever. I look back over my shoulder at him, feeling myself getting angrier. Hey, you're the one! But he's already turned around, heading back toward the pond. I watch him go, feeling bewildered and maybe even a little bit hurt. Asshole! I mutter under my breath. Did he stop because he decided I wasn't up to his standards? That idea hurts even more because I imagine those are pretty low. I stand there for a while longer, feeling like a complete idiot before finally heading back to the stream. I picked up all kinds of shit from smearing my body against this dirty truck. I'll be sure not to let him take advantage of me so easily again. Boy. We're headed down Elizabeth Street after dropping Carl off. The drive only a little awkward. Flynn's really good at acting like nothing's wrong when he wants to, and I'm totally fine with that right now. That's when I see a set of familiar ears through the window of the convenience store. Hey, is that TJ? Flynn ducks his head to look out my window.
Looks like it.
Flips a U-turn, which isn't a big deal since no one's on the road, and pulls in the parking lot. What are you doing?
Stopping by to say hi.
Oh, okay. I guess I need to buy some stuff anyway. I look out the window so Flynn can't see the look on my face. I already know that this is a bad idea. TJ's at the register and his ears flick in our direction before he turns to see us. At first he smiles when he sees me, but then his ears fall flat as he's Flynn coming behind me. Jenna pokes her up from behind TJ, and now I know this was a really bad idea. They're both a little dirty and TJ's backpack on. I wave at them to let them know I've seen them before moving toward the back of the store. I need to get some bottled water since I don't really like drinking from the faucet in the motel. I hear Flynn say something as he walks up to them. I silently hope that by the time I get back, everything will be magically resolved. Because the old corner market closed, this is the only place where you could buy food, aside from the diner. Looking around at the selection, I can see why Flynn takes the 30-minute drive to Peyton to get his food. I grab a few water bottles and head back to the front. My hopes of resolution are dashed as I see the awkward situation unfolding in front of me. TJ's standing the other side of Jenna now, keeping her between him and Flynn. No one's saying anything as I get to the register. They are tense and TJ fidgeting with his facial fur. As I pull out my wallet, I look over at Jenna. Hey, how was your hike? Fine. Hot. Ah. A red fox I don't recognize takes the $2 I hand to him. I feel Flynn shift around next to me, then I hear him taking a breath.
Hey, Tej, did you?
Hey, Flynn, did you forget what happened yesterday? Can you stop being a bitch? How about that? How about you stop being a fucking bitch, Jenna? I cringe, and his tone is sharp, and now I just wish I could turn invisible.
Huh?
Can't you tell I just want to talk to you? Flynn doesn't say anything. The tension is so thick in the air, I feel like I'm back in the slimy pond. The cashier, Fox, pauses and hands me my change, staring at Flynn and Jenna. Thanks. I almost yell as I reach out for the money, as if the volume of my voice will make everyone forget and provide Flynn the opportunity to escape. It doesn't work. We're not kids anymore, Flynn. You can't just treat us like crap and expect us to act like it's okay when you decide we're worth talking to again. Stop being a fucking bitch. Oh my god. Flynn's hunched forward, staring off to the side towards the back of the store. TJ suddenly heads for the door, and I can feel his face twitch as he passes me. Jenna follows him past Flynn before turning around as she reaches the door. If you want to talk to us again, you're going to have to act like an adult and apologize. Otherwise, later. Fucking bitch. Oh my god. She exits, leaving us in the most awkward, painful silence I've ever heard in my life. The clerk openly stares at Flynn. I fumble with the chain in my pocket, trying to pretend like nothing happened. You wanna... Flynn turns and walks out the door. I watch him get into his truck, then pull out, his face expressionless. For a while, I stare at the empty parking space, like slowly shove my wallet in my back pocket. The clerk, without anyone else to stare at, is now staring at me. Annoyed, I look right at him. What? He stares back at me, expression vacant. He's young, but the patchy fur and missing teeth and the look in his eyes tells me everything I need to know. I suddenly realize where I am and where I come from, and this alone quashes all the good feelings I have left of the day. This fox in front of me practically embodies all the problems with this small town. I feel such a bizarre, intense wave of hatred for him that I have to leave the store. Pressing the 2 water bottles against my chest with one arm, I shove my free pawn in my pocket, stare at the ground as I walk back to the hotel. I'm sick of him thinking that he can do whatever he wants without any sort of consequence. Jenna rustles around in her drawer before using her hip to close it with a snap as she turns to me. I'll apologize, in which he apologizes for ruining the trip. I open my mouth, then close it again. Of course, asking Jenna to make up with Flynn is a lost cause. It's like asking Carl to take off his beanie. Sitting on the bed, I glance at the bathroom door, the faint sounds of TJ's shower coming from within. I reach on his side behind the bed wall while she takes a seat next to me. You'd probably feel bad if you hadn't fucked everything up already. I rub the back of my neck with a hand, trying to think of something I can say to convince her. It's just the Flynn is always like that. He doesn't mean anything bad. Yeah, well, I'm sick of having to deal with it. He needs to learn to not talk to an asshole. This is one of the reasons why Flynn never fucks with Jenna. Rarely says anything to her at all. She's kind of exempt from the whole unspoken pact and just let Flynn's dickishness slide. Even sensitive TJ accepts it and takes the playful rubbing well enough. I hear the shower shut off, followed by the high-powered whoosh of the hotel's cheap dryer. Being a lynx, TJ probably had to stand that thing for a good 10 minutes before he was even damp. We're adults now. If he wants to get anywhere in life, he needs to shape up. Oh, shut the fuck up, Jenna. He's getting along all right. Jenna snorts. Yeah, he's planning to stay here for the rest of his life. Oh my god, shut the fuck up, you absolute bitch. I hate you. I mean, what's wrong with that? I can tell Jenna's giving me a look, but I don't give her the satisfaction to turn my head to see it. Seriously? Anyway, it's clearly a defense mechanism. He feels vulnerable without his I'm an asshole blanket. Pot calling the kettle black right here. Wow, okay. I mean, you're not a psychiatrist yet, Jenna. I'm not going to be a psychiatrist, but you don't need a psych degree to see it. I don't respond, not seeing the point of arguing about Flynn any further. Jenna stretches and gets up to go over to her laptop on the small table while I lay back on the bed, closing my eyes. Absent-mindedly, I pull my phone out, discovering a text from Leo. I forgot to tell you we're having a surprise party for Kyle tomorrow. Right, that bullshit. I frown and type out a quick response. You're telling us this now? It's not until next month. What's up? Jenna's looking at from the laptop with the expression on my face. Leo says we're having a surprise party for Carl tomorrow. Oh yeah. You knew? Well yeah, Leo told us on the drive back from the river. The phone buzzes again. Sorry, but we're going to the store tomorrow to get some presents, so don't worry about it. I frown. This is kind of weird, a whole month early. And a shrug looks back down at her laptop. Something to do, I guess. I guess. I type out the response to Leo. I have a lot to do tomorrow. I was planning to get some footage in the morning. Leo's always been weird. Do you follow any of his accounts? He's always posting pics of his food and stuff. My phone buzzes again. Yes, I can get the present for you, but you're definitely going to the party, and then we're going out to see a movie. I suppose that doesn't sound too bad. As long as I'm able to get at least something done for the project. Something is still bothering me about the whole get-together, though. I can go to your party, but I might need to stay and do more project stuff. What about Flynn? I said that with some hesitation, feeling like me and Leo are conspiring behind Flynn's back. Then I remember what I did behind Leo's back with Flynn. My toes curl reflexively in a cringe. Yeah, technically it's none of Leo's business what I did, but it doesn't change the feeling of wrongness I have about it. I toy with the idea of texting Flynn as well, but knowing him, he probably won't respond right now. I am sorry, to you at least. I look up from my phone as Jenny was clacking busily away at her laptop. For what? Her typing pauses. Because pissing Flynn off like that is just going to make this an even shittier vacation. I sigh and look back down at my phone, waiting for Leo's response. I don't know. I guess I needed to hear it from someone. My phone buzzes again. I had a talk with him, it's fine. About to say something else to Jenna, but I can hear TJ starting to open the door, so I just shut my mouth and close my eyes again. And that's the end of this video. Just need to save. And we'll be good. Well, guys, that's it for today. Fuck off.